Hey, everybody, welcome into the Arena, a multi platform gaming news podcast. This is episode 195. I'm your host, Expat, along with my co hosts. Got the full crew in here: Burly Mid Gaming, Turn Based Carl, Leah the Hatless, and Fubu87 will be joining us shortly. So, guys, yeah, we were just talking about that Tyson Paul fight and how Netflix was all buffering and, just a mess of a thing that was. I mean, I didn't even watch it, but I remember Tyson back in his heyday when he was like 20, just wreaking havoc all over boxing. I miss that about him. So I didn't even want to tune in to watch him in the state that he's in now. I think he should just retire. I mean, and think about the legacy that he had when he was a champion, when he was the undisputed champion. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
So.
it does suck, but you know what? He made $20 million, so
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
who cares?
I guess if you're thinking of it from the monetary, aspect of it all, I mean, yeah. But
he's probably like, "I'll do it again next year if you want."
yeah.
You write another check for $20 million? Okay, I'll do a
Right?
couple months of training.
Yeah, I'll lose a boxing match every year for $20 million. I don't care.
Hey, I'll do the same. You want to pay me even half of that, $10 million a year
Right?
to do a boxing match? Okay.
Further, we'll put the fix in. Okay, they'll pay us $10 million each. We'll box each other.
All right.
And, we'll take it easy.
Sounds good.
There you go. All right. So Leah, how you doing out there in Madeira? How's the weather holding up there? Is it getting any cooler, or is it still pretty warm?
No, it's getting chilly now. We had a thunderstorm last night,
Oh, really?
which was great because I was like playing Silent Hill, and I finally finished. Hey to me.
Nice.
So it
nice.
was the perfect weather. So
Nice.
before we get in, I just wanted to do some stats for you because I like that. So I finished the game in 19 hours and 46 minutes. I checked the map 1,074 times.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
I don't blame her on
What?
that as someone who has played the game.
Wow.
I killed 298 enemies, mostly by melee, and my favorite weapon was the steel pipe.
So you played this game
Congratulations.
for over 19 hours, and you checked the map over 1,000 times. So, like, how many times per minute are you
Yeah, right?
looking at the
Like,
map?
do the math on that.
Yeah.
It's not that much, but like sometimes when you're in some areas, like you need to double or triple check because like sometimes like the enemy is right there, so you open, so okay, you turn this way, and then you turn that way. Especially like in really complicated areas where you're really running away from the enemy. Okay, map. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. That's cool.
And I got the good ending, so like I left Silent Hill.
Nice. Nice.
It was a good.
Well, out here in Japan, it's starting to finally get cooler now. It's like, but today they're saying that it could break the record for November 17th, which we're into Sunday now. They're saying that it's going to get up to about 23 degrees today. So,
Wow.
yeah. But, I mean, the weather's starting to cool off, though. I mean, it's, getting, like, the high temperature is about maybe 16 or so. 15 or 16, and the low is like in an 8 or 9 degrees, so which is in Celsius, of course. But yeah, all right. So anyway, we got a great show for you. We're going to be talking about an Xbox handheld device. So Microsoft's plans to release a handheld gaming device are in motion, but still a few years away, maybe. So could it rival the Nintendo Switch with hybrid features? So we'll be discussing that. Microsoft games on PlayStation. So Xbox Phil Spencer says there are no red lines preventing Microsoft games from hitting PlayStation. But could we actually see Halo on PS5? We'll be talking about that. GOG preservation program. So GOG announces a bold initiative to preserve classic games for future PC setups. How important is game preservation in today's industry? We'll talk about that. South of Midnight. So the documentary reaction. So Compulsion Games' unique blend of art, music, and folklore in South of Midnight is turning heads. So could this title become one of 2025's breakout hits? So don't miss Carl's deep dive. He's going to go into that. So, and Game of the Year. And Game of the Year 2024 nominee predictions. So our nominee predictions, we're not predicting what's going to win Game of the Year. We are only going to be predicting the games, the 6 games that we feel are going to be nominated on Monday when the Game Awards comes out with their list of all the nominations. So we're going to be checking that. And obviously Burley, he's going to be going out there for the Game Awards, and he's going to be, promoting the show here and hanging out there and hopefully talking to some people. So, we're looking forward to Burley going out there. But we're going to give our predictions for nominees in this episode. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be later on in the show. So, good stuff. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, the first story... So, a handheld from Xbox. Who would have thought this was ever going to happen? So, apparently,
Leah.
definitely. Yeah. So, Leah, she's one of the only ones here that actually predicted that's going to happen. And it is actually going to come to fruition. But when, we do not know. I would hope to say sooner rather than later. Because if they wait too long, it's going to be just too saturated with all these different handheld devices, which it's already becoming that way now. So anyway, let me go ahead and read a little bit of this for you. So this is from over at Gaming Bolt. So reports of an Xbox handheld have been doing the rounds for some time now, and with the likes of the Nintendo Switch, the Steam Deck, and others enjoying the success that they've enjoyed, it's not hard to understand why. And though nothing official has been announced yet, it looks like Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer has confirmed that a portable gaming device is very much part of Xbox's plans. So he confirmed the same while speaking recently with Bloomberg. So we're going to talk a little bit about that Bloomberg interview also in a while. So acknowledging that, quote, the expectation is that we would do something, end quote, in the handheld space. Prototypes are currently in the works, but though early work is being done, Spencer says such a device, whatever it ends up being, is still at least a few years away. So whether such a device ends up being an integral part of Microsoft's hardware plans for the next generation of gaming remains to be seen, but the timeline would certainly line up, with Spencer stating that a portable Xbox machine is still a few years out. Now, I think their best strategy here, this is just my thought, is to make it like a Switch hybrid. Because that's, if you want to compete, you have so many handhelds out there now. You've got the Lenovo, you've got the Steam Deck, you've got the ROG Ally. You gotta make it kind of a hybrid, I think, to where you can plug it in and play it on your TV, as well as being able to pick it up and to take it anywhere. So it looks like Fubu just dropped in. So let me go ahead and get him in here.
Yeah, I don't think you can make a handheld today and not have it be hybrid. The technology is so ubiquitous now with these type of things where, you got to have a way to just plug it into a TV, of course.
Right. So anyway, your guys' thoughts. What do you think? Sooner rather than later, what do you think? 2026? I think maybe. Who knows? But what are you guys' thoughts? Leah, you're the one who, of all of us predicted this first. What do you think?
I think it's going to be a way connected to the system. So I feel like it's going to be a device where you can pick up where you left off from your Xbox or your computer. So it's going to be like connected and linked. And I think my advice for them, make it cute, like cute colors, really vibrant, like get those cozy gamers, because like if this thing is cute and I can play Xbox games, I'm getting one, because I may not get the Xbox like tower, but if I can play Xbox games in this, it's so much easier and accessible.
Yeah.
And I think it might release in the next generation. So when like it's going to
Oh,
be a
wow.
big selling point for the next one, because it says, okay, you can play, this is like the machine you're used to, and now you have this as well that you can go back and forth and play and you know enjoy it all together. So
But if you're
I'm
saying the
not
next
sure.
if you're saying the next generation, that's probably like 2027 or beyond.
Yeah, pretty much. This is just the flag of, hey, we're working on this, but don't expect anything anytime soon.
But do you think it would take them that long just to get a handheld device out? I mean,
Yeah, I hope
yeah.
not.
Yeah, you would
Yeah,
think that it would be sooner than that because it doesn't take as long to pump out a console. So I don't know.
yeah, but I think they might want to do something memorable or something that has a lot of power. So maybe like the power that you have on this current Xbox be done in handheld. And that might take a while to get figured out. And they might be expecting like the graphic cards and all of those systems to be a bit smaller. So it
Yeah,
can fit like a smaller package.
yeah, and then the cloud aspect of it all too. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably want to make sure that that's fully implemented. So, Carl, what do you think? You know,
But who made this mock-up here? Because I like that design. That is a sexy looking machine right there.
yeah,
Maybe for
Really?
Leah, just paint that white, or maybe offer it in like a bunch of the colors that the controllers come in.
yeah.
Like neon or
Yeah,
white with flowers or something.
there
Well,
you
the
go.
Xbox logo, like
I
minimalistic,
mean,
but like, oh,
go
Yeah.
crazy and do Design Lab, where you can make it whatever you want. That'd be awesome.
Different colors and things
Yeah,
like
right.
that. Yeah,
It'd be very expensive for them to do that.
yeah,
I mean, if people are willing to pay for it, they should do it, right? But
yeah,
yeah, when we've been hearing about this for a while. Good to hear him literally say, like, we're definitely doing it, right? And uh, I had hoped it would be sooner, like next year.
yeah.
But I think by him saying years off, it's really gonna be about the next gen strategy.
Hmm.
Um, Whatever they're doing with next gen, which who knows if it's going to be something significantly different or not.
Could this be next gen?
I
The
mean,
handheld.
I think what it's going to be, yeah, is instead of a Series S, there's going to be the handheld as like that model, right? And then there's going to be the whatever next version of
The
main,
main, the
yeah, the
main
main like more powerful unit.
X2 or whatever the hell they're gonna call it.
Yeah,
So
and then
Xbox Triple X.
yeah,
yeah,
because look, generations are dead, right? They're gone. Uh, it's just over, right? Like it's 2024 and we're still making games for Xbox One and PS4. Like, come on,
yeah,
like we're it's
yeah,
not this, like there's really a handful of games, right, that are only on current gen. There's not a lot, right? It's relative to the amount of games that actually come out. And you have the Switch, which everything on that is basically last gen, right? Or even some of it's older than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't run, like, Switch was getting like 360 PS3 ports because they didn't have that stuff the generation before, right?
yeah,
So, they keep doing that. Everybody's talking about Switch 2 having a bunch of ports of this gen that they haven't gotten yet because the Switch can't run those things. So, like,
yeah,
generations are kind of nonsense now. Everything closer to PC. PC hasn't had generations ever, right? It just doesn't
yeah,
really exist. So, yeah, I mean, it's gotta be. But I really do think it's gotta be 2026. Like, if you wait longer than that, like the Switch 2 is going to be dominant, which of
yeah.
course it's going to anyway. But like, waiting so long to
Right,
do that is
right,
not going to help you. You're gonna have
right.
you got the ROG Ally. You're gonna have like second versions of the Steam Deck by then.
Yeah,
Like,
you can exclude Japan from this equation because it won't sell in Japan.
but
Uh,
why wouldn't they, right? Like, they like handhelds. Like, why shouldn't they
because the Switch, like you
try?
said, it dominates, and most people will see the Switch the first thing they go into an electronics store, and this might not even be displayed at all.
But they don't have a choice, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe if there was an option, they might. Some people, maybe more than
That's the
like.
problem. They don't have the
Let me
options,
ask you this:
unfortunately.
Do
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
it would sell less than the current Xbox?
I think so.
I can't imagine
I
that.
think
Like,
so.
that's
Well,
wild.
yeah,
Like,
because you're in the West and out here,
well,
and I
look at
see
the
with my own eyes every day.
look at the
It's
PS5. Like
unfortunate. Yeah.
PS5 is like nothing compared to Switch there. So like it's very
Yeah.
evident that like they want handhelds, right? Like,
Yeah, but that's because of the price too. I mean,
and that
price
well,
has a
that's
lot
another
to do with
thing.
that. Yeah.
What's Switch 2 price going to be like? Probably
400.
high, right? Yeah, like, and
But
the thing is,
compared to a PS5 or an Xbox,
yeah, yeah. Well, a
it's
Series
much
S
cheaper.
is cheap, right? It's the price of a Switch.
It's more expensive out here
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
So
so
2026, like really, you got it because
yeah.
also if you wait longer than that, I think Sony's going to beat you to market too because I think
Yeah,
they're
maybe.
already working on it. Like,
Yeah.
because the portal I think showed them that like there's clearly a market if they didn't already know because the Switch, like everybody already knew this, right?
Yeah,
And
it
then the
would be
Steam
some
Deck.
kind of a hybrid,
Yeah,
device, I
and
think.
whatever it'll
Also.
be, right? It'll be a
Yeah.
hybrid. It's not going to run like all the games, right? I think
Yeah.
they don't have that avenue that Xbox Advantage does with the Series S having lower spec, where
Yeah.
you can kind of match that and make sure that
Yeah.
everything that runs on the S runs on this handheld.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I will say this about out here in Japan though, the Lenovo and the ROG Ally, you can see them displayed here in like Yodobashi and in the electronic stores. So
okay. So then why wouldn't the Xbox one be?
they're
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 just
but
haters.
they're over like $1,000,
Yeah,
and
those things are super expensive.
most people aren't going to buy them. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
No,
anyway,
these will be subsidized, right? Like the
yeah,
Steam Deck is subsidized, and the Switch
yeah,
is subsidized to some
yeah.
extent.
So anyway, welcome in Fubu87.
Hello.
So
Hello.
your thoughts on an Xbox handheld?
I have to agree with Leah because I think it will come out with the new gen. I think they might do what Sony did a few years ago when the PlayStation 4 came out and they were using the Vita as a companion app. I remember they did a showcase where they showed Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where you're playing on the PlayStation and then it transitions to the PS Vita. So that was the first instance of remote play. Um, because if they try to make a solo handheld console, like there's a rumor for the PSP2, I think it's not going to be a very good idea. Because why am I going to buy a handheld device when, for example, I can buy the Switch 2, which I assume is going to be the same concept as the Switch, where you can play the game on your television, grab the console, take it away, and you can continue playing the game outside without having any problems.
The
So if
hybrid
the,
concept, yeah. So,
yeah, the hybrid cloud, I think that's the future. I like it because if you just want handheld games, and for as much as I hate it, because I hate this where you guys say that mobile gaming is the future on your mobile, on your Android and iPhone and stuff. If you want mobile game, it's on your phone. You don't want to have an extra console like have an Xbox at home and having then a portable console. For example,
Fubu,
can you do the
I'll go beyond that. I think AR is the future. I think
yeah.
gaming in AR, whether it's with glasses or something that you can put on your wrist and pop up and play, that's the
Exactly.
future. But that's still a ways off. But anyway, go
Yes,
ahead.
well,
Yes.
and like I was saying, the example for the PlayStation, I have PlayStation, like you guys know, PlayStation 5, and I could have gotten the PS Portal, but instead of paying like 200 and something euros for the PlayStation Portal, my girlfriend gave me the Steam Deck, which was 400 euros, and
Yeah.
I can play anything that I want. That's something that it's worth taking on my hands because I can play, not advocating piracy and emulations, because but if I wanted to, which I don't, okay, but if I wanted, I could play Switch on the Steam Deck. I can play Xbox games with the Ultimate Pass on the Steam Deck. I can play PlayStation. I can play Game Boy, PSP, and so on and so forth and so forth.
Right.
That's why I have that handheld with me, because Steam Deck is a handheld. That's why I have it with me, because I can play a plethora of games that I want to play. Having an Xbox just even if it's not a companion app, if it's only for gaming outside, it's not going to be a good idea. The best chance it has is to be a companion app with the Xbox. And I say the same thing with the PSP2 with Sony side. It has to be a companion app to the main console, but also you can have your own games and play your own games there, different games from the main console. Because if it's not that way, it's not going to work out, because Nintendo made the market different. It gave something to the consumers that no one else is giving. And what I want is that I want to have a console, a game that I can play the game at home, take it with me, play it outside. Simple as that. That's what I want. I don't want something exclusive just for handheld.
Burley, sooner rather than later. Is that the best strategy for this?
You want to get this thing out sooner rather than later, as these PC handheld market is growing and expanding. We've had just MSI come out. We've have other PC gaming manufacturers that are making tons of these devices that are coming out. Like, I'm very curious to see what they'll do with this device, because the thing is, a lot of the portable computer market handheld devices, most of them are Windows. It's only the Steam Deck is Linux. You can throw Windows on there and do stuff. So a lot of these, you can have, your Steam library and have the Xbox app and get all your Xbox games or sub to Game Pass and have in there. So this is going to be a really interesting. And where do you price put this? You put this too high of a price, you're going against the Steam Deck, the Lenovo Legion Go, and some of the other higher end ones. And it's like, I don't know if it's going to have the chance there. You have to put this cheap enough, because but if you put it cheap, you have to have good compatibility, give value to it, because there's the cloud devices like the Logitech G Cloud, which is very cheap, that has the Xbox Game Pass streaming app built into it, so you can use that and as well as other things.
Yeah. Do you think Microsoft would be able to sell a handheld like this at an equivalent price to the Switch 2?
I think they can get away with it. Well, remember, Microsoft is a company that has so much money. They have the money, so they can afford to lose $50 on every sale of this, just to get this in people's hands, to try and get it, so that way people that are like, oh, sweet, I can play all these games. I can play Call of Duty 6 on the go. I can play Stalker 2 on the go. All these other games, play them and have them on the go. I agree, this has to be a hybrid device. This makes no sense if I can't hook this up. Even if I got to buy a USB-C dongle or a hub and dongle, or even if I had to buy a proprietary dock for it, you need to have that, or unless you have this device at like the $199 mark. But if you have it there, people are going to be like, there are other devices for that price, or a little less, or a little bit more, that get you more bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I think you can have the price lower if you don't have a dock, right? And I think you can also not have, like, the Switch has the removable, Joy-Cons, right? I think you can not do that also, because like we have so many Xbox controllers, right? Like that's like they sell more Xbox controllers than games. So you think
than consoles, yeah,
right? So like you probably have one. So all you gotta do is like you make it a single cable that you can use, like a USB-C or whatever it is that you're gonna need, right? And power separate. Yeah. You plug those things in, and you can sell optional ones to make it a little bit more simple. And then you grab your controller and it works. Like you don't actually have to have those things that cost extra to put in. And of course, you're subsidizing it because you're going to have your own, storefront as the default. But I do think that if it should be part of next gen, or if that's why they're saying years away, and the strategy will be possibly more like a Steam Deck, or where it's going to allow maybe other storefronts, right? Like Xbox will be the default store. It's going to run with an Xbox OS thing, right? But if you want to, you'll probably be able to go and run like Steam, right, or GOG or whatever on there, because we're going to come to our next story. Like, it's pretty evident that Microsoft doesn't really think that exclusivity is the only be all end all, right, to console. So like when that comes to the next strategy of console next generation, why would they make it so that it's all about limiting you to one type of place to buy stuff?
Well, let's talk about that now. So, will Halo ever come to PlayStation? That'll be interesting. So, Phil Spencer in his interview with Bloomberg, he talks about no red lines preventing Microsoft games from hitting PlayStation. So we've already seen some of the games hit PlayStation. Hi-Fi Rush was one of them. So what do you guys think? I think it's going to come at some point to PlayStation. But the question is, will PlayStation players actually buy Halo and play Halo? That's the question. I mean, will PlayStation players say, that's an old game, I'm not going to play it? There's all these other competitive shooters out there anyway. So I don't know. What do you think? Burley, I'll start with you on this one. What do you think? Is Halo eventually going to come to PlayStation? And then would PlayStation players actually play it?
Well, I think it will come to PlayStation if they're smart before the next Halo game is coming. You release the good Halo, the Master Chief Collection. You release that because that is still getting updates, the Master Chief Collection, to this day. And it still has an active player base between the Xbox and the Windows Steam side. So I wouldn't be surprised. You throw it at I don't know, 30 US, let's say. You will get people. You get people hooked onto the good games and get people interested in wanting to play it, being like, oh, okay. If you have to, you know what? You add DLC to Master Chief Collection. Here's Infinite for $10, and be like, here you go.
Disrespect.
Sorry, $1.99. You're right, Carl.
Infinite's
$10.
It's just a little add-on for the Master Chief Collection.
Hey, if you're gonna try and sell Halo to people that haven't bought or played Halo in a while, what game are you gonna go with? You gonna go with Infinite, or are you gonna go with Master Chief Collection?
I mean, it makes sense what you're saying, but also Halo Infinite is the game that's still like in active development, and it has a player base.
Collection has more players on it.
I mean, maybe on PC if you're looking at it, I don't know, but it's still a live game, right? I mean, Master Chief Collection is just sort of like a supported game, right? I feel like they want more people in the live service, right? But not that they wouldn't do both, because like they're two separate things. Those two aren't in the same collection. That they don't work like that.
Yeah,
true.
So what did you guys think of this Bloomberg interview, though? So Phil Spencer seems to be like, he says there's no red lines, but I mean, a lot of these interviews, he seems to be vague on a lot of issues, particularly when it comes to games coming to other platforms, or the state of certain games that are in development. When it comes to the platform and the games and the consoles, in development and things like that. What did you guys think? Carl, what did you think of it overall?
Phil's got to walk the line, right? Like, it's difficult. He can't say everything he wants to say, but he likes to talk, right? He likes to be a public face. He wants people to, be informed, and he's passionate about gaming, right? Yeah,
because he is a gamer. So
yeah. So he's unfortunately a CEO as well, and he can't just say whatever he wants. Whatever his title is now, actually, I don't remember.
Satya's Bitch is the new title. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, they're probably like
Burley.
Like golfing.
Sorry, I had to go for the joke. I'm sorry.
No red line. Like, at this point, he's telling us, look, this is the strategy now. We will put whatever we choose to on other platforms if it makes financial sense.
Yeah,
that's clearly the case. And at this point, I kind of just can't really care anymore. I can't be like upset about it. Like, as an Xbox fan, like, this is the path they've chosen, and I can't stop them. There's nothing I can do, nothing I can say. I can't buy more Xboxes and
it's a business decision.
Yeah,
it's a
right.
business decision.
Right.
I mean, they're out to make as much, to maximize profit, and the only way to do that is to do this, I think. So,
and it's a product of several things, like the industry itself, where we are, Xbox's position in the industry that they just can't get out of. Like, it's not really possible anymore. Like I don't think there's anything they could ever do to be PlayStation, right, at this point, or even Nintendo, right?
No.
Like, barring like just getting lucky and those two people struggling for whatever reason, like maybe they fail to adapt to something, right, and then it makes it harder for them. But that's the thing. Like, they're adapting to the industry to make more money, and they're making money, right? They're doing well. They're not worried about anything financially, right? So doing this, if this is what it takes, right? Because you look at the budgets. Ballooning budgets everywhere. Everyone's complaining about that. There's layoffs everywhere, right? There's studio closures. And if you don't want those things to happen, then it seems like the answer might be putting these games on other platforms, right? I mean, and like, all I'm going to say, like, specifically about like Avowed, right, coming up. If they need to put that on PlayStation 6 months later to make sure that franchise hits the numbers they want so that they can keep making sequels, then go ahead. Then that's actually a good thing. Yeah. Because I don't want, if I love that game, I don't want it to not have sequels, right? Yeah. And if that's the line that they have to cross, then I got to be loyal to the games, not the plastic, right? Yeah.
Well, let us know in the chat what you think of an Xbox handheld. I mean, when do you think it might be coming? And then, of course, do you think Halo will come to PlayStation and the other big, AAA titles from Xbox, like, for example, Indy Jones that's coming next month? Should we expect to see them come to PlayStation as well? Leah, question for you: will Halo ever come to Switch?
Hey. Who knows? Maybe like Switch too. Everything is possible. They already collaborated with Xbox. We had other games, so we'll see.
Yeah. Fubu, quickly. Will Halo come to PlayStation?
No, I hope not. I think some things are sacred, and I think Halo is sacred for the Xbox. Early, that's fascism. Let me get my opinion. Anyway, no, really quick. No, some things are sacred. I would rather they have their own IP and some stuff like I don't know. Astrobot can stay on PlayStation because it's a PlayStation thing.
Burley.
Yes, Astrobot can stay because that's PlayStation. It's on the right company and the right platform. No, no. I get it by
how it goes.
Exactly. See, Carl gets it. Now, like, I get it. Like, if Halo doesn't come to PlayStation, I understand. I just can see it because Microsoft has already opened the door with 4 titles this year. More's coming because Sea of Thieves really did well. And they have said their main metric right now has been Game Pass, not games sold, because games sold on their platform haven't been going as well as Game Pass has been growing. So, yeah, if they keep Halo only on Xbox and PC, they do. It is what it is.
Just to interrupt real quick, I would rather have Gears of War on PlayStation than Halo, to be honest.
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So let me go ahead and close up that image there, and let's get to the next image. So GOG Preservation Program was announced. So, this is some cool stuff here. So let's go ahead and open that one up and talk about that. So let me go ahead and get to the captions here. So GOG Preservation, the commitment to preserving games. So this is from over at Gematsu. So GOG has announced the launch of the GOG Preservation Program, a new initiative in which it commits its own resources to maintaining games' compatibility with modern and future PC setups. Over 100 improved classics, including Heroes of Might and Magic 3, Diablo, plus Hellfire, and Fallout New Vegas will receive the official, quote, preserved by GOG, in quote, stamp. So starting this past week. So GOG, founded 16 years ago to preserve games, has made 2024 pivotal with the restoration of Alpha Protocol and classic Resident Evil titles. GOG managing director Masij, I'm just gonna destroy this name. Golubiewski, forgive me if I pronounce that incorrectly, said in a press release, quote, "These releases embody our work, reviving games built on outdated, bespoke tech that original creators can no longer maintain. With the GOG preservation program, we continue our mission to make games live forever," end quote. Described as its, quote, "commitment to preserving gaming history," end quote, games marked with, quote, "preserved by GOG," end quote, stamp will always be up to date and ready to run on current and future PC setups. The announcement reads, quote, "Whether it's manuals, downloadable content, or missing features, we're offering the most complete version possible, backed by GOG's tech support and offline installers, so you can safeguard these classics for years to come," end quote. Burley, your thoughts on this preservation program and how it's moving forward to preserve games for history's sake?
Yeah, I love that they've been doing this. I've been seeing this for years. They keep just adding, and they're fixing, and like they're currently like, oh, okay, we had this game last, we got it working on Windows 7 or 8. We're now getting it to Windows 10, Windows 11 compatibility. Yeah. They are constantly, they're not just, oh, we got a game on there working for a couple operating systems ago, we're done, we're going to rest on it. No, they are constantly working on it, and it's nice to see that they've got a lot of classics going, and they're continuing to put in their money and effort into this, which I really like seeing, because it's funny, like, you can get Diablo 1 here. You can't, if you go to battle.net on the PC side for Blizzard, you can't get Diablo 1 through them. You can get Diablo 2, but you can't get the original Diablo 2 and Diablo 2's expansion, but you can't get Diablo 1, first game. You got to go to GOG and stuff like that. So it's very interesting for, like, some of these own companies won't preserve their old stuff. It takes a third party to go out there and be like, no, we'll preserve. We'll give you the offline installers, so you don't always have to have an internet connection to install and play the game. So it's such nice, refreshing work to see. Give them all the praise in the world that they are doing this, and good on them. And I can't wait to see what other games they get there.
Yeah. Leah, your thoughts on this preservation program?
I think it's great because I struggled with the same thing, which is I was going online like, oh, I want to play The Sims 2, which is years old.
Right.
And I went to Steam. I couldn't find it anywhere. Like, it's absolutely gone off the map. You can't play it anywhere. So the fact that there are initiatives like this, it's good that these old games can be available to everyone.
Yeah, or a guy like me who wants to play Myst because, Fubu is worried about my gaming reactions and things like that.
You can't play that on non-veteran mode, man. You have to be the hard ones.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah.
No, it's fine. So it's a great initiative, and I hope they keep going strong for many years to come and add more games.
Yeah. Carl, your thoughts on the good old game preservation program, how it's working out?
It's a noble effort. You definitely want these type of things. I do wonder if it will be cost effective in the long run, how things go in the future, how many of these games they have to keep maintaining and updating. And, they're troubleshooting, that they're staffing people for all this. I mean, is like every computer trying to run this game, like, someone's gonna run some weird thing, and you get this guy on like the computer and he's trying to figure out your weird little problems. Like, everyone's gonna expect that to happen, right? Because I said it. So I mean, it's cool. I think there's certain games like is Sims 2 on there, because that one would never ever. Because man, you try to run Sims 2 like now, that is a hassle to get running.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like Resident Evil is older, and they're able to do it. The Sims game was originally for PC, so I don't know how much
Sims
of
2
the
has
code
like
is.
100 expansions. That's the problem, right? It's
No,
all
but
this
so like
crap
the
you add
base
to
game
it.
is not that big. It's
Yeah,
quite a
for sure.
simple game. If you compare it to like Sims 4, that is way more complicated than.
Yeah, nobody wants to play base Sims 2, right?
look,
How dare
my
you?
wait.
This
I need to
shade.
step in. I need to step in. My girlfriend kept her old laptop only to play Sims 2. Only reason. She has that hunk
It's
of
the
junk.
best
Like,
sim.
yeah, exactly. Now, from time to time, she goes like, "I'm gonna play Sims," and she goes, spends a couple hours playing Sims, and she takes that nostalgic kick off, and then she's ready to go a few more months without playing. But regarding this topic, it is a great idea. Me as a person, I never enjoyed remakes, stuff like that, because I prefer the OG, and I'm not going to go on PlayStation on Final Fantasy VII because that is a different game now. That's not the original. And I don't like remakes of music. I don't of movies. I don't like. I like the OG, and I do the same thing with games because you have two prime examples. You have, for example, the Gran Turismo, it's not so Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto trilogy, where Rockstar butchered the game when they launched like two years ago, I think. When they launched it, the game was completely destroyed, and people went back to the original. And I did play those games and didn't like it. It felt really weird to play with these revamped graphics. I prefer the original. And another one that happened the same. Oh, I'm blanking on the. I'm sorry, they're doing it now, which is a Little Big Adventure, which was a game that I used to play on the PlayStation One, and now they're doing the remake, which I think it's coming out in November, but I think at the end of November, and it doesn't look the same. So doing this to conserve the original games, it is such a good effort, something really positive on our gaming culture, which I really enjoy, and I support GOG for that. But of course, I'm afraid, like Carl was saying, the costs of maintaining this, because this isn't maintained for free. There's people working behind it, keeping up with the updates, all of that. So the best way to keep this going on is go to GOG, buy stuff on GOG, because when you buy games on GOG, the games belong to you. If you buy games on Steam, they can take the games away from you anytime. So support GOG. They're a good force in the gaming culture in our world.
Alrighty. Time to move on. So, Carl, you are up. South of Midnight. So we had a documentary on Compulsion Games' unique blend of art, music, and folklore in the South of Midnight game that's coming out next year. So could this title become one of 2025's breakout titles? So, Carl, take it away. Your take on this documentary we saw.
Man, I really hope it does, because if you watch this documentary, there's just so much passion behind this project. It's exactly what you look at in terms of like video games as art. And we see a lot of this with PlayStation as well. This is like sort of the type of thing that they do, right? Because this game is, they're researching the South, right? This is a Canadian studio. They have some people who are from the South right there, but they are not actually, developing there. So they went on field trips there, right? They did research. They talked to people. They recorded sound effects. They did a lot of stuff like that. They're doing like extensive mocap for this, right? They had what's his name? Ahmad Best? Is that his name?
Yeah.
There he is, right there.
Yeah, who played Jar Jar Binks, of course, in the Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a big name in mocap stuff, right?
Yeah,
him working on it. You have all these creatures, right, that are based in this Southern folklore, right? That they are talking to experts in that those are knowledgeable about those things to adapt these into this video game. They have musicians as well, like Southern musicians, different styles, But as well, they also got this composer who's from like Paris, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
if I remember correctly. They're doing all kinds of, because this person was like, very well, apparently well known, well regarded for adapting different styles, right, from other places, cultural things, right, but doing something different and modern with it, right. So they're mixing that with different things. They talked a lot about the music and how there's like, every section of the game is like sort of based on like a main boss, right, who is this folklore creature or person. Like you're going to learn about them and what happened to them, why they are that way, and they're all going to have like theme music for them. Right? There's even orchestral recordings as well,
right?
And like live singers and things. Like they're doing the whole nine on this, and like and it's not a setting you see a lot, right? So I just really hope that this game, is really great and also gets the attention it deserves for the amount of effort and passion, dedication, research they're putting into it.
Yeah. It looks really beautiful, and and an ode to the South as well. So, Burley, your thoughts on this documentary and the game as it's being developed and has the likely release of 2025.
Oh yeah, like I love this documentary. It was a nice blend of showing you the stuff, like not only showing you gameplay, the visuals and stuff like that, and showing design and all that. You're seeing the studio here in Montreal, in Canada, just showing you the work they're putting in, and like Carl said, all the effort. Them actually, even though they're not there, but they made trips, they talked to people local there, got the folklores and stuff like that. They are putting the love and effort into this, and you can really feel it when you watch this. And then they cut to the gameplay and the design of the areas, how they're coming and saying how they've got some of their ideas from what. You can feel it, and you're like, okay, this isn't just some, we faked this, but we thought this is good. No, you can tell they really got the passion, the drive for all this, and it makes me more and more excited for this game. I was excited for this game, but watching this really makes this up excited for me. Like, it's not Avowed level. Avowed's pretty much my big game for next year, but it's right underneath it.
Yeah. I wish they would do more of this style and this format to make documentaries about these big AAA games that are going to be coming. I mean, for us gamers, I think we want to see more of this. Yeah.
Well, is this testing the waters? I mean, you could look at the Starfield Direct thing, whatever you want to call it. I forgot if that's what they called it. And then the Call of Duty Black Ops one that they did as basically the same thing. Yeah. This wasn't attached to a showcase.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's like 30 minutes long, and it's like expertly produced. Like this is a great, like, just as a documentary. I think even if you weren't interested in playing the game, but you had a passing interest in like how video games are developed, you just might be interesting just for you to watch on its own.
Yeah. Leah, your thoughts on the documentary?
I mean, it's the first time I had like an actual contact with what the game is and it's all about. So for me, it's great because I love South's stories passed on the South. Like one of my favorite book series this year is Blackwater, which is literally what they're saying in the beginning. It's about this family and the little town and supernatural elements, and it's great. Shout out to the inspiration in crocheting and knitting, because like when they show those drawings, like, yes, that is a crochet hook right there. So pretty accurate when it comes to that. It's very interesting that they picked that as the inspiration to weaving in. And there's also really cool elements of like healing the environment, like hovering above the places as a way of moving forward. So there's really cool elements of different games that I really enjoyed. And I really like the art style. It reminds me a bit of stop motion almost, with the way they design it, the animation. It's
It
so
literally
cool.
is, right? That was the inspiration, and they even went to a stop motion animation studio who built mock-ups of like things that they actually used as how they made the game models.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like the game on itself, it's not stop motion because like it would be endless to do a game like that.
Well, right.
It would be interesting, really cool. Like a really cool idea for a game would be like stop motion and like a bit like the Plucky Squire. But yeah, so I'm just sad there's just an Xbox exclusive. No,
Who
that's the
knows,
only
Leah?
downfall of this game.
It might come to PlayStation and Switch. You never know down the road.
Wait,
I
you
know.
didn't see the new ad thing that's going around? Like, your phone's an Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, your computer's an Xbox. Everything's.
Yeah. Fubu, your thoughts on the documentary?
Well, I'll be honest. I want a documentary like this about Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's like 5 minutes. Let's make a game in Japan. Let's go. Let's not do anything else.
I'll make one. I'll make one.
Sure.
I'll make a documentary on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, I can go
Yeah,
out. I can go out to the areas where the So anyway.
Sounds perfect. You'll do a better job than Ubisoft, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm gonna say I think Carl, the way he talked about this, he summed up everything very well. I enjoyed everything that I saw. I'm enjoying everything that I'm seeing again. It is very beautiful game. I like the world where it goes. I like the mythology that they're introducing. I think it looks very, very fun to play. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Evil West, because when I played Evil West, you go through areas similar like this. You fight not these types of monsters, but monsters of mythology. So I don't know, it gave me vibes of Evil West, and that was a very, very good game. And this one looks like it's going to be a very, very good game.
Yeah, looks super. Yeah. Yeah, and those bosses, they look pretty menacing too. So, especially out there in those areas. Yeah. So
I love a good boss battle. Like, you gotta, games like this, you gotta really nail that. Like, I think famously, if you hear about like the development, like Psychonauts 2, one of the things that they benefited from with Microsoft buying them and getting extra time and resources was to make those boss battles more interesting and dynamic. And it paid off because there's some awesome boss battles in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, some of those jumping elements. Burley, what's that PlayStation game that came out with the girl that she's from like the 21st century, but then she goes into a fantasy world, and it didn't do Forspoken. Yeah, it didn't do very well on PlayStation, but the jumping elements there with the main character kind of reminded me of Forspoken there. So, but yeah,
hopefully she's not going to be talking to a cuff.
God, I hated that so much.
As someone who's bought and played Forspoken, the dialogue in that game and the dialogue between her and the cuff was like, whoever wrote this was drunk.
Yeah.
No.
Good stuff. Alrighty. So, next up. All right, guys. It's time to have some fun. So now we're going to talk about our predictions for the Game of the Year nominees, which will be coming out on Monday. So this coming Monday, the Game of the Year nominees are coming out. And let us know in the comments about the previous story we just talked about. Let us know what you thought of the South of Midnight documentary. If you've taken a look at it. But anyway, now it's time to talk about our 6 games that we feel should be nominated for Game of the Year. So we're not making predictions for our Game of the Year, our personal Game of the Year, or anything like that. These are just the games that we feel should be nominated come Monday for the Game Awards. Okay? So we're going to be talking about those now. So let's go ahead and jump in. I will start.
If you say should be, I mean, what I think will be. Maybe I don't want them to, but that's what I think.
Yeah, that you predict that
Yeah.
are going to be nominated. Okay. So let me go ahead and start. So my first game, and these games are in no particular rank or no particular order. So just going to throw them out there. Okay. So the first game that I think is going to be nominated is let me go ahead. I got to get this up here. So is Astrobot.
He's got the picks.
Yep. So this game continues to push the boundaries of what's possible in immersive gaming. Building on the franchise's legacy, this installment has been hailed for its creative platforming, its innovative mechanics, and its accessibility, making it a standout title of the year. And from a sales perspective, it's performed impressively, solidifying its place as a must-play for fans of the genre. Critics have praised its imaginative level design and how it made exceptional use of current-gen hardware capabilities. So setting a benchmark for platformers in 2024. So that's I definitely think that Astrobot is going to be nominated. Next up, Dragon Age the Veilguard. So BioWare returned with a vengeance, proving that they're still masters of epic storytelling. This game has brought a deep, branching narrative, memorable characters, and tactical gameplay to the forefront, captivating RPG fans worldwide. The Veilguard also made waves in terms of sales, breaking records for the franchise, and receiving widespread critical acclaim. So fans have called it a, quote, return to form, end quote, for the series, and its cultural impact this year can't be overstated. So I think that's a game that is definitely going to be nominated as well. Okay, next up, my third game. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. So this game carried forward the legacy of its predecessors, blending humor, emotional depth, and over-the-top action in a way that only the Yakuza series can. The vibrant, detailed open world and unique minigames made it one of the most engaging releases this year. Sales-wise, it's one of the best-performing entries in the franchise, proving its global appeal continues to grow. So critics and fans alike have praised it for refining its formula while delivering an unforgettable experience. So yeah, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, I definitely think that will also be nominated. And number 4, next up, Black Myth Wukong. So this game is a visual masterpiece. It's not just about the graphics, though. The combat, inspired by Chinese mythology, brought a fresh and challenging experience to the action RPG genre. So its sales success was no surprise, given the anticipation surrounding its release, and the reception has been overwhelmingly positive, with many calling it one of the most ambitious projects of the year, and it definitely has lived up to the hype. So I think that's going to be nominated as well. And number 5 is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So Square Enix delivered another stellar entry in this beloved series, combining nostalgia with modern innovations. The expanded world, revamped combat, and emotional storytelling has hit all the right notes. So in terms of sales, it's been a juggernaut, topping charts worldwide, and critics have commended it as a perfect blend of homage and evolution, cementing its status as one of 2024's finest titles. So that's number 5. And finally, my last pick that I think is going to be nominated for Game of the Year is Metaphor Refantasio. From the creators of Persona, this game offered a fresh yet familiar take on the JRPG genre. Its unique art style, compelling story, and strategic gameplay captivated audiences so far. The game has been a commercial success, earning praise for its innovative systems and emotional depth. It's already being hailed as a modern classic, making it a no-brainer for this list. And yeah, those are my 6 games that I think will be nominated. And I'll just have to say my honorable mentions are Stellar Blade and Hellblade 2. So, yeah. Stellar Blade was bold and a stunning debut from Korean developer Shift Up. And while Hellblade 2, its visuals and emotional narrative were just amazing. I mean, so those are my honorable mentions. I don't think they will be nominated, though. So those are my 6 titles, and those are my predictions for the 6 games that will be nominated for Game of the Year. Let's go from now in alphabetical order. Burley, you're up next. What are your 6 titles that you feel will be nominated for Game of the Year?
My first one will be no surprise. Astrobot. Like you said, this game is just it is a if you need a game that will hook you and make you want to keep playing and playing, this is the game. And with all its nostalgia, innovative features, and they're still releasing content. We just had 5 levels they added to this game for free. They gave you more 5 little speed run levels, extra little characters in the area to do stuff and buy more stuff in the shop and interact. If you've been a PlayStation fan for years, you will get a lot of love and references that they do, and be like, oh my god, I remember this, and doing nostalgia right. My next pick is Stellar Blade. This game just came I was not expecting this game to come out the level of quality it did, and when this thing came out, a lot of people were talking about this. Is your Souls-like? You can set your difficulty. You have quite a lot of combat options. There's multiple paths and certain stuff in the story, multiple endings, and it has giving you replay value and really making you want to keep playing the game every time. Every time you're putting it down, you're like, I want to keep playing for a bit, but I have to get back. I got to get some sleep. This next one I know is going to make Fubu smile a lot. FF7 Rebirth. What can we say? This was we all knew this one was going to be there. And they innovated from remake. They added a lot of cool new features, and they really open it up with the open world aspect. A lot to do. You can easily put over 100 hours of this game and still not have done everything. This next one, Metaphor ReFantasio. I knew this game was going to be good, but I did not expect this game to really draw me in as well as it did. And I still have people... I know people that have finished the game that are still doing a second playthrough and changing some of the options they picked to see how does this affect this in the story, this and that. And just with the whole, instead of your party members that you used to in the Persona and like the Shin Megami Tensei games, they're like, yeah, they're the one class. That's all they are. Nothing really changes. It's no, you can pick their classes. So you really get the customization your party and really can try things out and find what works for you, what doesn't work for you for your party setup. Black Myth Wukong is my next pick. Just a great little action story narrative game, and this game just took the world by storm when it came out. Like it went over 10 million copies sold with really fast, showing that you don't need to be a big Western or even Japanese developer, big AAA developer to take the gaming world by storm. My last pick, I have a feeling I'm the only one that is going to put this on here, but Helldivers 2. This game really, when it came out, and it's someone I did play quite a bit when this game launched, it just was huge, and just the online playing with friends and just going whether you're doing against the hordes of the bugs or hordes against machine.
Yeah.
I never, even when I was getting my ass kicked in the game, I always had a great time. Just a blast.
I was strongly debating whether to put that on the list, but then I just felt that it's going to be nominated in another category, rather than Game of the Year. Yeah. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough. My honorable mention is Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Okay. That game, I did not expect to love it as much as I did. And really, when you play that game, the amount of customization and with all the different echoes you can get and how you can pick your routes after the first like hour or two. So it makes it that we all could play the game, but we'll all be playing so differently, and how we choose our options and how we complete dungeons and stuff and tasks and the side quests and stuff. No, none of our playthroughs will be the same. And it just adds to the replayability of that game.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think it's a game of the year without a Zelda game in it. In my opinion, I think it was. I'll talk about that later. But if there's a Zelda game or a Mario game out, it has to be in the talk of game of the year.
I was thinking of that too, Fubu. I was thinking of that too. But I just think this might be the year where it's gonna be in a different category.
The year
rather than game of the year. Yeah.
No Nintendo game.
That's weird.
The nominees.
All right, Carl, you're up. Go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw off the first two real quick because they've already been said and it's very obvious. Astrobot and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and simply because like these games don't review so well and not get nominated for Game of the Year. We're talking about the Game Awards specifically here, and this award show has its jury pool, which is predominantly people in the media who are people who review these games, right? So like we kind of know what a lot of them already think. Yeah. So not that it's strictly just the reviewers, but we do have an idea, right? So those two wouldn't make sense if they weren't. Right? Yeah. That's also gonna sort of apply to Metaphor ReFantazio again. Already been said. Of course, that's my personal favorite, right? I mean, I love this game. It is every bit the quality and of Persona 5. Like, it is that good, and it's also a new IP. You know, it's also improving on certain things that they've learned from those games as well. I think these two stand at the top of what Atlas has done as a studio, and I wouldn't think that it would be fair to say that, you know, if Persona 5 is your favorite game they've made or Metaphor ReFantazio, that's totally reasonable. You can go back and forth between those two. They're just incredible games. I still haven't finished it, so like, you know, I haven't decided myself which one is my favorite. Yeah. But it's up there. Then I went to, let's go to this one was already said too, so I'll go to this one. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Yeah. And this one was my sort of like, maybe it might not, but I went with it because it also reviewed so well, right? The reviews are just so incredible. So like, I feel like the only reason maybe it wouldn't is it's so early in the year. It you know, there is a recency bias a lot of times. You know, something like Dragon Age the Veilguard like could be a recency bias sort of nomination. Yeah. If it happens. But I do hope that the people, you know, take this seriously enough to look at the entirety of the year and remember back on like what really stood out. And I know Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was also beginning of the year, right? But that game is different, right? It has the nostalgia to it, right? There's a history behind that franchise. It's a bigger deal, even though Yakuza franchise is big. It's just not the same. So hopefully that does happen, and I think it's worthy of it. Even though I haven't played it, I still really want to. I will. Then I went to, I feel like a lot. It's not a requirement that we have an indie darling, right? But we do have one this year that people absolutely love. I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about this game, and I've heard so many people just rave about how good it is, despite it, when you look at it, it's hard to understand it, but I guess it really is, and that's Balatro. Okay. There's just so much positivity around it. I see, especially in the gaming industry, like the media people, right? The people who are probably the jury, right? The people who are voting. So I think there's a strong possibility that we see that as the indie nominee this year. If not there, of course, it'll be Indie Game of the Year. I believe it's very true. And then my last one is maybe no one's going to pick this, but we'll see. I'm going to read something before this because this is kind of like just came out. I think maybe people are just starting talking about this today. And I don't know when it showed up. If you look at the FAQ on the Game Awards website, they have this little box that says, "Are DLCs, expansion packs, and remakes/remasters eligible?" And the answer is, the Game Awards aims to recognize the best creative and technical work each year, irrespective of the format of that content's release. Expansion packs, new game releases, DLCs, remakes, and remasters are eligible in all categories if the jury deems the new creative and technical work to be worthy of a nomination. Factors such as the newness of the content and its price/value should be taken into consideration. With that said, I believe that is directly talking about Elden Ring: Shadow of the Earth.
Yeah.
And I kind of wonder if they put this up late because they told the jury this, but kind of forgot to put it up on the website because it just wasn't there previously. The same thing sort of happened if you looked at the eligibility date cutoff, which is the 22nd.
November 17th.
It's actually Friday, November 22nd this year. It was previously a different date. It was earlier.
17th, maybe. Yeah.
No, so I think they updated that as well in here.
Yeah.
Not immediately, but much sooner than that other thing showed up. So I think that might be a big chance. The game, of course, reviewed incredibly well, and I say the game, the DLC. Sorry.
Yeah.
But when they say price value consideration, everyone who talks about this game says like it's basically a whole new game, but it's only $40, right? And it's like you get a whole second Elden Ring for $40, and kind of undeniable how strong that is, and because of how well beloved that game was. So we shall see.
Yeah. Okay, next up, Fubu, you're up next. What do you got for us? What are your predictions?
First of all, I'm saying this now. No first chokes, okay? Burley, no first chokes, please, because you're gonna hate me.
I promise nothing.
My first pick will be Metaphor Fantasia. That game, for me at least, I know some people that are following it know about it, but for me, it came out of nowhere. I think it's beautiful. It's a great game, and I love these games that hit me like a truck that I'm not expecting. Saying that, going to the second game, obviously, which is Black Myth Wukong, because I knew about it a few months or years ago. I knew about that, and like I said, when that game came out, it was actually that game had an impact in the world, even if it was just for a week. Because I remember my girlfriend came to me and she said, "Are you going to buy the monkey game?" I was like, "Do you mean Black Myth?" Yeah, the monkey game.
Yeah.
And then I bought for her, and I ended up completing the game, and she hasn't completed the game because I fell in love with the story, with the graphics, with the combat. That's beautiful. That's a very beautiful game. Now, looking at my list, I have to put Zelda Echoes of Time as well, because and this is going to sound like a big stretch, but I think this game had the same impact as when we played the first God of War on the PlayStation 4. And I'm going to explain this why. It completely changed the gameplay, because when you play a Legend of Zelda, what you play with Link, you just swing your sword around and do some puzzles. This one, the game is basically a puzzle, because you have to use Zelda's abilities to traverse certain areas. So I really like the creativity, and I do appreciate creativity in the game. Then I think this is again recency bias, but I think Dragon Age is a game that should be in, because it's a beautiful game. Gameplay is really nice, and I have a friend of mine, she's playing the game. I've seen stuff, I haven't played it, I'll be honest, but she doesn't shut up about the game, and she's so invested in the story. And she's jealous because the guy is flirting with the teammate, so she doesn't put them together so that they don't flirt during fights. I was just laughing my ass off regarding that. And then, of course, yes, my sixth game, it's obviously 20 out of 10, Final Fantasy VII. That's my game of the year. 20 out of 10.
That would only be 5 games.
5? It's 5?
Yeah.
Oh, which way was it? Oh, yeah, here it is, sorry. Helldivers 2. I have to put Helldivers 2 in it as well because it also took
because Burley put it in, right? I'm just kidding.
Great minds think alike.
You will put
okay.
Helldivers 2 on your list.
Yeah. Yes, Helldivers is in my list now. Yes, I have to put it because something told me to do it now. But yes, because it took the world by storm. At that time, it was a really fun game to play it. Shame that Sony did screw up a little bit with the PC requirements, mandatory PSN, that didn't help anything.
Yeah.
That's that harmed the game a lot, but that doesn't take the fact that the team behind it is making an effort to have a very solid game, because you know how these multiplayers are. These multiplayers, they usually they just release something for like 2, 3, 5 months, and then they just don't care about the game anymore. They keep putting new stuff, and it is really good. And honorable mention, it's Astrobot.
Okay, all right.
Look, I'm gonna give you. I don't think it's a game of the year contender because it is a fun game. It is a bright game, but a game like if you're telling me which was the best platformer of the year, Astrobot, no doubt about it.
So would you say, Fubu, that if you're not going to put it in the Game of the Year nominees, you would put it in like best family game of the year?
Yeah, it would be probably a best family game.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some, because the thing is, a game. Look, if you're going on gameplay alone, it is a fun game. It's not too complex. Okay, but the game nowadays isn't only gameplay. It's not only graphics. It needs to have a story behind it, and that's something that it's a very simple story. The ship crashes. You have to find the pieces. You have to defeat the alien, and it's done. There is now no complex story behind it. Like, let me give you
you didn't tear up near the ending. When you beat
Fubu.
the final boss,
No heart. He has no heart.
I gotta stop you there, man. I mean, Mario games get nominated all the time. They got no story.
Okay. But
Zelda games don't have much story at all either, and yet always nominated.
No, please.
Oh my god. He made Carl defend Astrobot.
I know, right? This guy calls himself a PlayStation fan.
No.
All right.
And I believe Leah, what Leah says, that he has no heart, because you play and you get to the end of Astrobot, you get tears in your eyes.
Look, no, the thing is, when you play a Mario game, there's always something new. The thing with Astrobot, it is a platformer, but you already played this a few years ago when the PlayStation 5 came out with the Astrobot Playroom. Like, the concept is the same, just they added some.
It's not a demo though. That was a demo that came out with the first game. This is a full on game. I mean, yeah. So.
Look, I might be on the wrong here. I see that I'm on the
That's
wrong
fine.
here.
You might be in the wrong. You are in the wrong. Tell us in the comment section or in the chat. Is Fubu wrong? And how should we punish him?
Yeah. Well, look, Fuba, I hope you're right. Okay, but I would never bet on that.
Okay.
He's not right, Carl. Just trust us on this.
No,
Leah, save the best for last, hopefully. So take it away. What are your predictions for the Game of the Awards
my
nominations?
predictions are based on diversity. I feel like Game of the Year is the category where all the games converge. So I decided to kind of pick something that is the best of everything. So my first pick is Silent Hill 2. By far the best remake of the year, in the true spirit of the original. It's such a good way to take a great story into a new format and a new platform. So nice. I feel it's deserving in here. Mm-hmm. My second pick is Astrobot. I think it's a fantastic platform. It is one of the best games of the PlayStation. It uses so well the DualSense. I think it's just a staple for the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
My third pick is commit Wukong. I think this game took the community by storm. It just came out of nowhere, and it didn't leave anyone indifferent, I guess. It's a success, and I think it really deserves to be here.
Yeah.
My fourth pick is Balatro, which I'm surprised Carl mentioned as well,
Yeah.
because it's the indie darling. It's glowing reviews. Like, the game is simple, but everyone loves it. And I think that is also the standard of a great game. It doesn't have to be complex, it doesn't have to have this gigantic story behind. As long as it's fun and people love it, it should deserve Game of the Year.
Yeah.
My fifth pick is Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. I feel if there is a game that kind of conveys great storytelling that the critics love and a lot of gamers get emotional and involved, I feel like this was that game for this year. And I think it also deserves a nomination. Like, fantastic story, nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
And
and the
of course,
visuals too. The visuals are the
stunning.
most stunning of the year for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think it's also deserving in here. And my last pick is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, because it took the concept of a 2D Zelda and the big concepts that Tears of the Kingdom had and Breath of the Wild had, and combined them in this hybrid game that is just absolutely fantastic, creative, fun, and it opens the door for more 2D platformers on the Legend of Zelda franchise. I think we can see there's a path forward. And I think it's, of course, Zelda as a protagonist is also a milestone for the game. So I think it's great. And my honorable mention, and I didn't put here because I'm not sure it's going to get Game of the Year, but the Plucky Squire. Besides Balatro, is also like an independent game that has a really creative, fun concept of the storybook and the 2D and 3D elements. And I think that could be something that calls on. And I would also add Metaphor Fantasio. And the other pick I didn't get here because I didn't know about that rule that the DLC could be considered was the Elden Ring expansion pack. Like, I was gonna put it in my top, but then I'm like, wait, it's a DLC, it doesn't count.
I thought of it, but then I had to cancel that out with Black Myth Wukong. I mean, I think that's gonna be the Souls like type of game that's gonna to get the nomination this time around.
It wouldn't be a game war without some
my audio
shenanigans.
glitched here.
Did
did
maybe.
you say Final Fantasy? I didn't hear it. Did you say Final Fantasy?
I don't think so.
No, I did not.
Okay, it's not
Because
broken.
Silent
That's-
Hill is the
Shame,
superior
shame.
remake of this year. Take it or leave
Final
it.
Fantasy 7 is not a
Carl,
remake.
Carl, I'm
It's
a
not
little
remake.
surprised. I'm a little surprised you didn't also throw on your list Persona 3 Reload.
I was just gonna say that because I didn't say an honorable mention, so there you go.
Yeah.
If we're talking about best remake of the year, Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I didn't play the original, so I can't really compare, right? But I don't feel like there's too much difference from these games, right? And in the way what they did to bring that game in up to like modern standards, it's a bit more of a traditional remake than like Silent Hill 2 or Final Fantasy 7 or Resident Evil 2, right? Like where they did a lot to add sort of things and change some things, right? But they took everything to like the nth degree, like the art, the animations, the music, right? Like the menus, everything got touched and improved. The gameplay, even, right? The combat, and they took things from the previous games in the franchise that came after this one, and it's absolutely incredible game. I think it's, if anything, if a remake, like a more traditional remake, deserves a nomination for Game of the Year, it would be this. I wouldn't advocate for it because it's not 100% a new game, right?
Yeah.
But should it be on the list for RPG of the Year? Yeah, for sure. Put it there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another game that none of us mentioned for a Game of the Year nomination that might get one is Dragon's Dogma 2. That's another one as
Yeah.
well.
I remember when we talked about Dragon Age, I did say at the time, if Dragon Age is not good, everyone's going to cling into Dragon's Dogma. But because Dragon Age is so good, so now everyone's focusing. The only Dragon game people are focusing is on Dragon Age, but Dragon's Dogma 2 also would be a very good contender, but recency biased. So
I think the time as well. Because Dragon's Dogma 2 came out a lot earlier in the year too. So
exactly.
Yeah, that one, like long ago, I had thought earlier in the year that it would make it, but that was without seeing what else was going to come.
Yeah, would it have had that kind of like that Baldur's Gate type of effect? But it didn't. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just simply not that good. Right? It's very good. I honestly think that should have a better chance than Black Myth Wukong or Helldivers 2 or what was the other one you guys had on your list? Sort of like these games, like those games were viewed good but not great, right? It's like I think there's a group, out there that doesn't think that game is excellent, right? That those games are good but not amazing, right? Like because those are like low 80s, right? For like Black Myth Wukong, as far as like aggregate scores, like. But let's say Dragon Age Valguard also in that same category. Like those three games are in like the sort of same review level, right? Lower than most of these other games that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, next week on Monday, the predictions are. We'll see who had the best predictions. The nominations come out, and of course, next week's episode 196, we will be going over all the categories and the nominations and talking about them, giving our reactions to them. And then we will, of course, in the upcoming episodes, be giving our final predictions for Game of the Year and all of the other categories. So please stay tuned for that.
Oh, that's always fun. We got to do we all do our picks and then see who gets the most.
Yep. We're going to be doing that. Yeah, I can't wait for that. Yeah. And of course, towards the end of the year, of course, our final episode of the year, episode 200, we'll be reacting as well to the Game of the Year and all the other winners as well. So we'll be talking about that. So all right, it's time to move on. So it's time for our new game release picks of the week. So each and every week we pick a game that's going to be released from www.releases.com. So you can see the ticker below there. So you can go and check out all the games that are releasing this week and for the rest of November and beyond at www.releases.com. So first up, so Carl, you are first this time. So let me get this up and going here. What pick do you have for us this week?
All right. I picked Microsoft Flight Simulator 24. Or 2024. Coming out November 19th on Xbox Series X and PC. Pursue your dream of an aviation career with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. This brand new simulator is designed to take advantage of the latest technologies in simulation, cloud, machine learning, graphics, and gaming to create the most sophisticated, immersive, and awe-inspiring flight simulator of all time. To achieve this unprecedented level of accuracy, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is powered by the significantly evolved Asobo Studio engine. And that description does not tell you enough. Because what's so interesting about this new flight simulator is all of these other activities that you can do within the flight simulator now. I mean, and you're seeing here in this video, like, this rescue crew thing, this advertising, right? Like, there's just so many different things. Like, I mean, there's character models in this. Like, that didn't exist in the first game. Like, you've added a whole lot of stuff to this, and I really hope that you can like create your own pilot. I never read about it. That's the thing that you can do, but I would love it if I could like create my own pilot and have him have like, I don't know, some sort of stats or career stuff, or I don't know, whatever. Like, it just seems so cool. Like, I want to play in this world here, all these toys basically. Whereas in the previous game, like, it was neat and I tried it, but there just wasn't anything a video game about it, right? It was just it's very much a simulator, right? And this is like, all right, let's add the gaming fun to this simulator. Yeah, I hope this one is even better. You know, review wise, I mean that old one was like a 90, meta score on that. Yeah. And unfortunately, like, is this game going to be eligible for Game of the Year awards? Like, technically it is. It comes out before the 22nd, but they're announcing the nominations before this game comes out. So, like, what the hell does that mean? Like,
means it won't be nominated.
Like, that seems very, very unfair to this game and to Stalker 2, which comes out on the 20th. Also eligible for this year. So you're telling me that these two games, which could be, well, I don't know if Stalker, but Stalker, I heard a lot of good things. If it is that good, these two games are not going to be eligible for Game of the Year next year, and then they're just screwed this year because, Keighley decided that we're going to
it happens,
put their nominations
Carl,
out.
It happens practically every year for some type of game like that. I mean,
but this is different though, because this is like it made the deadline that he chose. He just didn't wait to let people choose it. I don't know. Like, I don't really get that. It's very, very bizarre.
Yeah.
I should do like the Grammys, like the window once it closes, like you can submit so like things from 2023 can count towards the 2024 because like it releases after the
and that's how it works, right? Anything that releases after the 22nd is eligible for next year's awards. So Indiana Jones will be eligible for next year. But according to what he wrote on his website, these games will not be eligible, even though they are, they don't seem to be within consideration unless the jury has already played these games and maybe did nominate them if they deserve to. Like, Flight Sim should be like best simulator, right? Like, I imagine it should be in that category.
Actually, that game is beautiful. I've played Flight Simulator. My cousin is crazy about that. I've played it, and it's lights out good, really good.
Yeah.
Beautiful game, beautiful.
All right, Fubu, you're up next. What do you got for us?
The one that I picked is called Luma Island. Comes on November 20. Explore the island by undertaking quests and assisting the local inhabitants with their challenges. Prepare to navigate treacherous spider caves, explore ancient temples, solve complex puzzles, and uncover hidden treasures. Embark on your remarkable adventure from the simplicity of an aged caravan progressing towards a distinguished accomplishment of construction, a splendid manner that stands as a testament to your achievements. Choose from 7 distinct detailed professions, each offering its own pathway for advancement. Enhance your tools to collect scarce materials and work alongside your teammates to excel in your chosen crafts. And this game looked like a fun adventure game. I really liked it. Sometimes I like to chill, not playing serious games. I do like this type of gameplay. This has a mix of that game Lee keeps talking about from the Switch. I'm forgetting now the
Animal
from the Switch.
Crossing?
Yes, exactly. You can do your farming stuff. You can help people, and then you have the puzzles to not make the game only
and be chased by bears. Yeah,
and be chased by bears
and spiders.
I think this is closest to Stardew Valley that it is.
Yeah, also Stardew Valley. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. I just wanted to give a jab to the game that you like and I hate, so I just wanted to do that. But yes, I just chose this.
You're insulting.
Exactly, Leah.
I'm messing with you. No, it's
a game that you like and I hate.
No, I really like this game, so I really chose this because it looks really, really fun and a chill game to have.
All right. Thanks, Fubu. All right, next up. Burley, you and I have the same pick. So take it away. What do we have for this week for our pick of the week?
Well, our pick of the week is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. After a second catastrophic explosion in 2006, The Chernobyl exclusion zone underwent a drastic transformation. This hostile environment, now home to fierce mutants, lethal anomalies, and battling faction, pose immense survival challenges. Despite the dangers, the zone's allures lies in its valuable artifacts, drawing numerous adventures known as stalkers. These individuals risk everything to seek fortune or uncover the hidden truths within Chernobyl's core. Assume the role of a solitary stalker, navigate the photorealistic, seamless open world spanning 64 kilometers within this radioactive zone. The diverse landscape shows the post-apocalyptic setting from various perspectives. So it's launching November 20th to Xbox Series and PC, and
Game Pass day one. Yes.
Yep, and Game Pass day one.
Yeah.
So this looks very interesting to see, going around exploring and in all the different areas. And it's not only you've got regular humans you're going to be fighting, and creatures that have been affected by the explosion and mutated. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
With all your exploring and how you're going to do it. Like my playthrough and Expat's playthrough of this could be quite different.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing this, so can't wait for it. All right. Leah, you're up next. What do you have for us? And I'm predicting it's a Nintendo game.
How did you know? On Your Tail. Set sail for an unforgettable retreat in On Your Tail, where the calm of a life sim blends seamlessly with the thrill of a detective story and the knack for strategy is key. Nestled in the picturesque coastal hamlet of Borgo Marina, On Your Tail casts you as Diana, a daring soul on the hunt for the ultimate summer escape. Diana's ideal holiday trifecta, immersing herself in the quaint village life, mingling with its quirky residents, indulging in iconic leisure pursuits, and unraveling the enigmas that shroud Borgo Marina in intrigue. So it's life sim, detective story, kind of fun, cute, Nintendo, and they're all dogs.
Furry game. It's a furry game. Yes, I got it.
Thanks, Fubu.
Looks nice.
That was
I was actually
unnecessary.
going. I was going to pick this game. I'm joking. I was going to pick. I really like this, but I did like Luma Island more for whatever reason. Not because it's furry. And I'm joking about that. I just decided that. But this looks beautiful. I really liked it. Really liked it.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So those are our picks of the week. So you go to www.releases.com and check out all the games that are releasing this week and through the rest of November and beyond. www.releases.com. So go and check it out. All right. Good stuff. All right. Next up is our Game Pass. Wave 2 for November, Carl. So obviously Stalker 2 is one of the big games, and Spyro. The Spyro trilogy is also coming to, the service as well. Yeah.
Well, there is no Wave 2 officially announced yet. That comes out. That should be the 19th. Okay. So, I mean, let's just talk about Spyro.
Yep.
This is Spyro. The Reignited trilogy was announced and already dropped on Game Pass. It was after the official drop.
The 12th.
Yeah. Which was on I think they did that on Monday. Yeah, they did it on the 4th, the official drop, the first drop of the month. This kind of did out of nowhere, but that's weird. But okay, cool. Play Spyro Ignite Trilogy is awesome. Like I wasn't like a Spyro person, but my wife actually had played those games when she was young, and she wanted to play it, so we bought that like a long time ago.
Nice.
It's impressive. I was surprised like how good of a like platformer type game it was. I didn't realize. So yeah, totally worth playing. We'll see next week what they've got. We know Stalker 2 is the 20th.
Yeah.
And Flight Simulator
that's definitely Wave 2. Yeah.
And Flight Simulator is the 19th.
Yeah.
So I think Flight Sim was on the previous one because it'll be announced. Tuesday will be the day. So like, announce it before that.
Yep. Alrighty. Okay, so next up is our programming notes. So here on the Arena Productions, we are not only a video game related site, we are also into entertainment and pop culture related content. So here on the Arena Productions. So first up, before we get into the entertainment side, let's go ahead and talk about a video that Fubu did. And let's check out this one. It's called, of course, Visions of Mana. His gameplay review. So you have a few things to say about that, Fubu? Go for it.
I do. Without spoiling a lot, I wasn't expecting this game to be so good because, let's be honest, the game didn't sell a lot. If it sold a lot, we would be talking about Game of the Year stuff and stuff. But the game didn't sell a lot, and I was actually on a second-hand store, and I saw the game, like, was cheap, and I was like, I like the Mana series, I'll give it a shot. And I'm gonna say this: when it comes to story-wise, if you played a lot of RPGs, look, the story is highly predictable. If you never played a lot of RPGs, it's gonna be fresh, it's gonna be new. What I really enjoyed a lot was the combat system. The combat system was very fluid. Sometimes when it comes to these action RPG games, sometimes the combat is a bit slow, but it reminded me of Black Myth Wukong. Like with the dodge mechanics, you can't parry an attack, so you have to rely on dodges. So the dodges are very fast, and I did like that a lot. It has a lot of classes. All characters have different classes. So let's say you have a fire element, and it gives warrior to Val. It doesn't mean it gives warrior to all the other ones. It gives fire monk to Kalim. It gives this samurai, I'm forgetting the name now, to Multi. It gives different classes to everyone. So that allows you to have a lot of different combinations. If you want to do a more physical team, you can do that. If you want a more magical team, you can do that. I personally didn't go that way until the end of the game, where I defeat the super boss. That one I had to have some strategies because that's something I didn't have time to talk on the video. For example, you can assign your teammate for a role. In this case, with that final boss, I use one character, the more magical one, to be the specific healer to keep healing. So it allows you to do a lot of strategy. And the AI, when you play these games and the AI is really bad, that's not the case in this game. AI in this game is really good. They know what they're doing, and it makes the game much, much easier. The world is fantastic. Like I said in the review, it gives hints of Metroidvania, because as you unlock the elemental vessels, you can go back to the previous areas and unlock new stuff. Because this is supposed to be, it's not an open world game. Like it's like a Final Fantasy. You have a big area, then you go to another area, and so on and so forth. It gives you the illusion of an open world, but it's not an open world. And I'm telling you, if you like to explore worlds and fun combat system, this game is the one to play during your Christmas holiday break, if you have those, if you're studying. I think you should really play this game. I really liked it.
All right. Great job, Fubu. So
I can talk a lot more.
don't give too much of it away. People won't watch your video if you do. So all right. So next up, so from the entertainment side of things, I did a spoiler-free review of Alien Romulus. This is a great film. Burley, you told me about this, and I decided to go ahead and give it a watch, and boy, oh boy, it gave me those vibes of the original Alien. It gave me vibes of Aliens.
Told you.
And it gave me vibes of a little bit of Prometheus as well. And yeah, so please go and check out my spoiler-free review of Alien Romulus. So it's really, really good. So really, really enjoyed watching it, and really enjoyed making this review for you. So please go and check it out. And then next up, Arcane Season 2 Act 1. My review of that is out now. So if you have watched the first 3 episodes, which comprise of Act 1, please go and check out my review of that. So really excited for Act 2, which I'm watching now, and I should have Act 2's review up probably sometime on Monday. So stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, and I know, Carl, I saw you in Threads talking about it, and yeah, it's super.
Yeah, man,
I mean,
it's
it's
so
really
good.
good. Yeah. The best anime, I think. I mean, just it's
Well,
yeah.
it's
I
not
mean,
anime.
Blue Eyed Samurai is very good as well, but yeah, the animation style in Arcane is just it sets the bar for sure.
It's a work of art. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing else as good or even like this. Like, you don't see this style of animation anywhere. I cannot wait to see what this studio does next, because this is the final season. I don't know why. I feel like they could do more.
Yeah, but
the budget they said was like
250 million. Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
So I assume, that's because the backing is, League of Legends, Riot, and what do you call it? I'm forgetting the Chinese company that owns them. God,
Tencent?
I draw a blank on it. Tencent, yes. There's a lot of money to back that, right? So I see that. But then I kind of wonder if there was like a sort of bidding war, or someone was like, "Oh my God, it's incredible. We gotta get them to make our thing," and
Yeah. So please go and check out my review of Arcane Season 2, Act 1, which is up on the Arena Productions now. And finally, what is also up, my latest review of Star Trek Lower Decks. So the latest episode. So we get a first look at Starbase 80. So in Star Trek Lower Decks. This is episode 5's review. So it's a spoiler-free review, so please go and check it out. I really enjoy doing this, and I appreciate all of your support, of course, for all of the content here, but especially you Star Trek fans that have been watching this. I really appreciate all of you, as well as all of our viewers here on the Arena Productions. But yeah, I really love doing these Star Trek Lower Decks reviews. They're so fun to do. So yeah, this episode was really cool. So, and it gave me a little bit of horror vibes as well. I just love the music in this episode. You hear that ding 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 ding. So good. So please go and check out my review of Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode 5. So we only have 3 more episodes left, unfortunately. But yeah, looking forward to doing those last 3 reviews. So yeah, good stuff. So that is our programming notes. So here on the Arena Productions. So please go and check out all of our other entertainment and pop culture related content here, as well, of course, as our video game related content here on the Arena Productions. So good stuff. All right. So now it's time to talk about the games that we're going to be playing this week. So still Call of Duty veteran. Fubu, keep it zipped, or you're gonna get shut out again. So.
I learned that.
So Call of Duty veteran mode, still working on that. So if I get a chance to play that this week, yeah. So and then when Stalker 2 comes out, I'm gonna probably play a little bit of that as well. So and then of course I've got all the content stuff to do. So, but hopefully play some of those. So excited for that. Burley, what are you going to be playing and streaming this coming week?
Streaming wise, Lego Horizon Adventures. I started that up last week.
Nice.
And it is really fun.
Cool,
I'm
cool.
a pretty decent way through it, so probably sometime next week I'll finish the game and then start drafting up the review.
Nice.
So stay tuned for that. But off stream, be playing more Veilguard. I played a little bit this week.
Nice.
And once I do finish that game, you will have a review. You just got to give me time because I want to beat the game before I make the review.
Nice. Yes, please. Cool. Very good. Carl, how about you? What are you going to be playing?
Yeah, just Metaphor.
Realistically,
still. Right? That's what I'm going to be playing because I'm still... I'm not... I don't know how far I really am, but I don't even have all the characters yet that are playable in the game. So I think I'm close. We'll see. It's going to take me a while. There are 2 demos, though, that I downloaded that I want to try. Maybe I'll give that a whirl, which is one I told Burley about called Beastie Ball.
Oh, yeah.
You do need to try that out.
Yeah, it looks cool. It's like Pokemon, but instead of them fighting each other, they're playing volleyball. It's like turn-based volleyball matches.
Cool.
Which I'm like, that's, there's a criticism of Pokemon that like it's basically dogfighting. So like, this is the game that's like, yeah, let's not do that. Let's make it, more fun and friendly. So I'm curious. It looks pretty cool. It seems to be well regarded on Steam so far. It's like an early access game. So
nice.
And then the other demo, they just dropped a demo for Shin Megami Tensei V Vengeance.
Yeah.
Cool. Very weirdly, they're like, it's on Steam and PlayStation 5, and that's it. Sorry, Xbox people who can also buy the game. You just don't get the demo. I don't know why.
That's weird, yeah.
It is incredibly weird. Maybe it's just delayed for some reason.
Who knows?
But I'll download it on Steam and play it on PC. Because I'm very curious about the game.
Nice. Fubu, how about you? What are you going to be playing this week?
Here. Oh, I'm disappearing.
Dragon
Ball.
Dragon
Ball. Sparking Zero. Finally, I found it on the store that I usually go.
Nice.
I found it. So it's me and my girlfriend. We're gonna have some fights, and then we're gonna play the game.
So someone's sleeping on the couch.
You're gonna have some fights first. You're gonna have some fights first, and then after that, you're gonna sit down and play the game. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing strengthens your relationship like some good old Dragon Ball fighting game match.
We do not condone this type of behavior on the Arena Productions. Believe me. So.
Exactly.
All right, Leah, how about you? What are you going to be playing?
Well, I finally left Silent Hill, so good.
You finally left Silent Hill. Okay, so you finally got out of the fog, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ready for something peppy. So
Nice.
I am started Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Cool.
Finally, something cool. And when Fubu decides to return the game to me, I'm gonna try the speed levels of Astrobots. You know, for someone who says the game isn't that great, he sure
there you go,
has
Leah. Take it.
held captive.
Take it.
Thank you.
So first he takes games and doesn't return them, and then he fights with his girlfriend on the couch before he plays the fighting games. We're gonna have to have some talk after this podcast, Fubu. No.
Yeah.
Don't you just love physical media though? You can share it with your friend.
Yeah, actually, one of the games since I've played Visions of Man and did the review and all of that. Lee's gonna play it as well, so she wants to play. I think the review worked because she wants to try it.
A dying trend, Carl. A dying trend. Yes. Sharing physical game media with your friends. Yeah.
Like obviously, I don't do that now because I've moved far away from most of my close friends, and you're an adult, like you don't do it as much. But when I was young, of course we did that.
Yeah.
Like, we should still have that. But if you haven't heard this, apparently, Flight Simulator and Avowed have been announced to have physical boxes with just codes in them.
Okay.
Not cool.
Oh, no.
Why? Hashtag cancel Microsoft.
I know, right?
It doesn't make sense to put out a box and then just have a code in it. I mean,
I hated that with the Switch was doing that with games.
Yeah. I think, Flight Sim, maybe I could give a pass because I'm sure the install size on that is ginormous and your disc is going to be worthless, right? Because it's not going to have the whole game on it.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't think that's going to be true for Avowed. It might be big, but like what happened to putting like 4 discs in there? They used to do that. Okay. Just, you want to charge me more for it? Let me pay for it. I will pay for it.
Like I said, the days of physical media and consoles will be ending, I think, within the next 10 years. And then, in the future, you're going to have augmented reality. You just with your hand, you pass on the game to your friend, your children and your grandchildren are going to be just, it's all about cloud gaming and AR. And they're going to look at us and they're going to laugh at us. And, you guys had boxes on a table with a box on the wall, so yeah. But so enjoy this time while you can, because the future is coming.
I think the Game Boy still works, so like I can still play it. Okay, it still exists.
Yeah, but that's why I say it. Enjoy it now, because the future is going to be a lot different, I think. So we shall see. But alrighty, so it's time to end our show with our, of course, indie recording artist spotlight. So each and every week, we, of course, spotlight a recording music artist and have an outro with music from that indie recording artist. So this week's spotlight is on Thomas Herdick. Following his studies in physics and multimedia, Tom Herdick pursued composing, recording, and mixing for over a decade, eventually crossing over into film production as a multi-instrumentalist. He wrote and produced a wide range of musical styles for his own projects and the multimedia studios he collaborated with. Crossing genres, he has his own cinematic sound, from cool jazz to blockbuster tension. Every moment of his music is intense. From his album titled Spill the Chill Pill, and the song is called Caffeine Overload. So this has been the Arena Multi-Platform Gaming News Podcast, episode 195. I've been your host, Expat, along with my co-hosts, the full crew, Burley of Burleman Gaming, Turn-Based Carl, Fubu87, and Leah the Hatless. We hope you have a great week of gaming. And one last thing I want to say before we sign off here. We are also on Threads, and the link is below here. You can follow us over on Threads now. So there's been a lot of people jumping ship from X, and I'm not going to go into the reasons why. I'm sure you probably already know that. But if you're on Threads, you can come and follow us over on Threads. And over on Blue Sky. We are on Blue Sky now as well. So that is our profile there. You can come and follow us over on Blue Sky as well. So please go and check that out. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. So thank you so much for watching. And next week we will be talking about the Game Awards nominations for the categories and giving you our reactions to them. So stay tuned for that. And, of course, all of you that are watching in video on demand as well, thank you so much for all of your support and for all of you watching all of our content here on the Arena Productions. We really appreciate you and all of your support as well. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you next week. Take care, everyone, and have a great week of gaming. Peace out.